This is Haircuts by Chris. You're watching Bird's Eye View, and the choice is yours.
It's about to be a good one. It's about to be another good one, man. Got somebody close. Somebody I
What's
know.
going on? What's going on? How we doing? How we doing? Prisonish. What's going on?
Yeah, state your name. Where you from?
My name Christian. I'm from Jersey,
Jer-
born and raised North Jersey, for sure.
Okay. So yeah, Prisonish, this Bird's Eye View is basically our platform where we just bring awareness, like each person, gets to share their story. You don't have to go too in depth with anything, just basically whatever
Mhm.
that you went through with your charges or anything, how you came out at the end of it, you know what I mean? That's what Prisonish is about. That's what Bird's
Let's
Eye.
get it, man. Let's educate. Let's educate the people, man. Let's make a change.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Hey man, y'all really got that Jersey swag on hard tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm outnumbered tonight, man.
All
hey,
love,
hey,
Right,
man. It's
right.
all love.
All
hey.
love.
Yeah, it's definitely love, man. Much love for everybody out there in Jersey, man. But Christian,
Appreciate
man,
it.
if you don't mind, man, what is prison? Just in general, what's prison to you?
Hey, man. Thanks for asking. Prison, man. To me, prison to me was it was a mental game, man. It was just. I look at it's something Tay told me one time. I remember Tay said to me, he was like, "Yo, can you tell me what time is?" And bro, that thing it's been in my mind forever. Like, what is time, right? And when you get that taken away from you, is like the true meaning of being powerless, right? So I was in such a powerless situation, and I got the only thing that was valuable to anyone, which is time, taken from me. And I just felt at the bottom, man, with no power. I felt weak. Prison to me was like it was my power being stripped from me. Right? Prison to me was almost like if I'm at a 10, it brought me down to a 1.
Mhm.
So prison wasn't really a place. It was more of a of a mental abuse or of a mental breakdown, if that makes sense.
Right. So how did you feel, like let's say, walking through those doors that first day of like, going through jail, like
I'll
how did
tell you. I'll tell you real quick. The first day I really got to what real prison is. Tay, it's behind the wall is what they call it. So finally, when I got behind the wall and I got to my first unit, there's there's tiers, right? So there's one that goes straight down, one down to the left, and one down to the right. They sent me to the one to the right. This is like intake, and I looked down, and the first thing I saw was about maybe 40 doors, maybe 20 on the left, 20 on the right.
right.
And it was dark. The hallway was dark, but the doors were like a ugly gray, almost like a construction gray.
Mm.
And I said, wait a second. So there's all those doors that way. That means there's more doors that way and that way. And this is just a small section of the jail. So right then and there, I was like, yeah, it's go time.
Mm. Mm. And what does behind the wall mean? For like,
Behind the wall basically means when your status is stripped from you and you're not allowed to go to any halfway houses. You're not allowed to go to the camps. You're not allowed to basically do anything that good behavior is rewarded for.
okay.
with
Wow.
with no background of any institutional violence, any trouble in jail. Just they just
Oh,
They
so
just set
it's something you have to go through first.
it. I had no choice.
Yeah.
When I went to classification, for those who don't know what classification is basically what the state determines your point level is as a prisoner.
Okay.
So the lower your points are, the more of a well behaved prisoner you are, right? I had
That's
2 points.
yeah.
I had 2 points, and they sent me behind the wall.
2 points.
Man.
2 points, and they sent me down to a max facility
Hey, Chris,
behind the wall. No camps, no halfway house option, nothing.
hey man, I heard you saying that's crazy, by the way, because I have some experience with that point system you're talking about. That's kind of crazy. Um,
Hmm.
but I heard you saying, for those of you who don't know, when you were giving your answers, for those you don't know, which is perfect. So I feel like you have an understanding that there's a gap in understanding between like general people and people who have
General
maybe gone
population,
through
yeah.
the doors that we've gone through. If you could just elaborate, what is like some of the main misconceptions that you feel exist with what prison really is and what generally people think prison is?
Mhm.
I don't want to say prison is far fetched as, you know, even the movies persuade is. No, prison is really like that. Prison is very much so a place where you either gonna go get rehabilitated, or you're gonna turn into whatever the statistic is,
Okay.
You're
right?
saying like worse than you came in?
So I don't want to give the I don't want to give the impression that prison is sweet, because it's not at all.
Right, right, right.
And prison it definitely helped me though, man. It changed my life, and I think for those who know how to use a setback like that to their advantage, will be able to overcome the situation. I think I missed
Okay.
this.
So if you don't mind, like, what were you even charged with?
I had a gun possession. I was charged with a I was not supposed to have a gun because I wasn't licensed in the state of New Jersey,
Okay.
or registered, sorry, to have a gun. I had a gun. I was on probation for a little weed charge. I never went to probation. I was I was careless. I was young. I was having fun.
Hmm.
And eventually they came knocking on my door. And when they came knocking on my door, they looked and they found my pistol.
Mm.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And I was charged with, when it was all said and done, I was charged with certain persons not to possess a weapon,
Mhm.
third degree, which carried a sentence of 3 years maximum with a minimum of one. And out of the 3 years, I did 31 months
Okay.
behind the wall.
Okay. So you said you did 30. So basically 3 years. You got sentenced 3 years, and you did 31 months.
Out of the whole total, yes.
Wow. Wow. So it's funny. I'm gonna be honest with you. Me and Tay, we've been talking lately a lot about prison. You know, for obvious reasons. This project, but we've been just kind of diving into the not so looked corners or areas of conversation. So I'm gonna share some information with you and just see if you have any idea. So do you have any idea the number of days that you might have done?
365, and 365 has to be what? Seven, what
Just
is it?
just roundabout. Just roundabout. For the
Ah,
sake of
maybe
for,
like about 1,000 days.
yeah. So for the sake of math, let's just make it. Let's just go. Let's just go 3 years because that's what you were sentenced. Okay.
Right, right,
So
right, right.
so 3 years is 1,900 95 days, right?
Mm.
So I probably did a little, yeah.
Yeah, so you did a little less than that. But here's the thing. Okay, so any idea how many hours that may have been? And I know you could probably calculate it, but
Obviously
just
24,000 if we, you feel me, right?
okay. So it's 26,280. Now, I was talking with Tay one day. I said, "Hey, man, it's crazy sometimes, man, because people ask me, how are you so close to certain people that you were locked up with?" And my
Right.
answer is not based upon the person, like, oh, he just a cool person, he real. It goes down to the time. I'm like, yo, I spent time with this person, not on the street, like your boy. You might see your boy every few days. Let's just say you see your boy every day. You're not spending hours upon hours with him. You spend a couple hours here and there. In prison, 20, 24 hours. You
Every
with
day.
these people every day, right? So I said, man, that's a comparison that people don't think about in terms of relationships. You're spending so much time. And then I started diving into like work, a working person, right? So a working person usually can retire after a certain number of years, right? So you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, right? So 40 hours a week for the whole year. We're going to call that a working year. Do you have any idea, with all the time that you spent locked up, how many working years? So basically, like if you were working, let's just say at the post office, and all the time that you spent in prison actually working, do you have any
Would
idea
have been on
how
the
many
clock, you
years that
mean?
would
Like
be?
if I would have, all the time I spent in prison, had I
Mhm.
spent that time on the clock getting paid?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Any idea?
I mean, come on.
It's
Any idea?
crazy.
Right?
Throw a number out. Any idea?
I don't even know what to say.
13
I wouldn't even,
years.
huh?
For you, 13 years.
13.
13 years, bro.
13 years. So that's just a perspective. That's just one perspective. Like that's the amount of time, and that to me helps people understand literally how much time is time. Because it's not the
Right. That
same.
goes
Like,
back to, I'm sorry.
nah, go ahead.
No, that goes back to what I said with what Tate. What Tate told me that always stuck with me because he actually told me this behind the wall.
Wow.
So that's what's funny about it. And he
Circle.
told me, he basically broke time down to me and basically told me exactly what it means. And the way I apply that to my life now is time to me is very important, man. I try to utilize every single hour of the day
Yeah,
possible.
good man.
So I thank prison for that for sure.
Hey, yo, so yeah, going through that, what was some of the things that you say you would do that would help you cope with the time that you're actually losing from not being on the streets anymore now?
Well, you got to reword that question a little bit
I
because
basically like, all right, you walking in there now, you're you obviously not understanding the time situation, but you obviously understanding that you can't just do what you want now. You know what I mean?
oh,
Like
so
you're
you're talking
on,
about while I'm in prison?
yeah, like what were the things that was helping you pass time, like
Okay, okay. What was that? How was I coping in
utilizing
there?
it? Yeah.
That's a good question. So basically, basically, I had no idea what I was gonna do. I had all these imaginations that I was gonna be playing basketball, that I was gonna be working on my physique, that I was gonna be trying to be a rapper, or try to,
Everything.
I had all these imaginations, and then what really, what really made time go by so easy for me was I picked up a pair of clippers.
Mm.
One day, man, one day I was on I finally got out of the intake unit. I finally went to the actual general population, and we're out on the dance floor, which is the term in jail, which they call the day room
Day
or the
room.
rec area.
Yeah.
I'm on the dance floor, and I see a pair of clippers. They're on a stool, little cheap stool. And I look around, there's nobody by the clippers. And the first thing I say out loud was, I was like, who's the barber here? And then the barber goes, oh, it's me, but I'm not really a barber. I just have the job to pass time. He asked me, do I know how to cut, and put me on the spot. And I said, yes. I took the shot. I said, yes, I know how to cut, but I really didn't.
Okay.
And my bunkie, shout him out. I don't want to say his name, but my bunkie, he was the one who let me cut his hair so I could prove that I know how to cut. Gave him a nice little, took him down real quick with like the one guard, fixed
Yeah.
him up as
Yeah.
best as I could. And I passed, man. And ever since that, bro, that was at the beginning of my prison bid, and
Okay.
that helped me a lot, man. Those clippers. I'm a barber to this day. Take it, tell you, I'm still,
Right.
yes.
And he definitely kept up with it. Definitely kept up with it.
I even after prison, I went and got my barber's license. I went to school for it and everything.
That's what's up, man. That's
Yeah.
what's
Thank you,
up.
thank you,
That's
thank you,
what's up,
thank
man.
you.
Hey,
Yep,
listen, man. Can you? I want to stay on this topic right here because that's a passion of mine, man. It's just seeing people fuck the circumstances you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Where you at now and what you're gonna do.
that's a fact.
You know, you said, yeah, I could cut, not knowing how to cut, right? And it don't matter how that cut came out, to tell you the truth. First of all, y'all had clippers just sitting around,
Right. So, like
like
I
on the on
said,
the on the.
the
On,
barber even mentioned that he didn't really know how to cut as much. So I don't think people really cared for it.
no, no, no.
Mm.
What I'm saying is, where I was at, I mean, I was like top security. Like, I mean, you had to have all this clearance. They had to come. They had the radio in. Your clippers coming in here. Like the
Okay.
clippers was just sitting out in the open.
Nah. So where I was at, which was
Yeah.
Garden State Youth Correctional Facility,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
at least when I was there,
Got you.
which was 2018. Um, they were just we
They was
every
just there.
unit had
Yeah.
their own clippers.
Yeah.
Every unit had their own little box of clippers, and they would
Yeah.
go and they would let them, let the inmates use them.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Supervised,
Cool.
supervised, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I figured that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just
Right.
a sidebar, man. But what would
Mm.
you say for people, man? Like, I guess diving a little deeper. Like, was it hard? I'm interested to know, man. Like, you clearly, I want to say, maybe found your passion when you were in prison. You picked up clippers and you like, I'm gonna stick with it. Was it any hurdles that you had to encounter when you came out? What type of advice would you give a person that comes out, and maybe there's a barber that's watching right now, or somebody that has thought about it at one point in time. They were in prison, they maybe were cutting, they came out, they kind of dropped the ball on it. You know what I mean? Any words of like sharing your the difficulties you
What
faced?
can I? Yeah, of course, 100%. Man, the main thing about it is, man, gamble on yourself before you gamble on anything else. Believe in yourself before you believe in anything else, and stay focused and stay true to yourself, because ain't nobody else gonna be true to you besides yourself. So, I don't want to sit here and act like this is the end of it, and the work stops here and I made it, and this that's not the case at all. If that was the case, I wouldn't have kept my passion going. It's about waking up tomorrow and continuing your goals, and reaching them, and make bigger goals for yourself, and don't let such a traumatic situation take over your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Meek Mill said it best: dreams and nightmares. You
Right.
you got to go through both of them.
Yeah.
So it's just choose the right thing. What do you guys say at the beginning?
The choice is yours.
Choice is yours.
Choice is yours. Nah, for real. That's deep because same
Yeah.
thing for me. Like I picked up the pen, you heard, and I started writing every single day, bro. Like
Oh, I know. Oh, I
every
know.
every day, and it turned into me being an engineer. It turned into me being able to freestyle on the beats. It just like it was something for me to like just be in there thinking like, damn, like yo, I got so many years to do, so many days to go by. But instead of just thinking that, it's like, nah, let me do something. Like my life it's not over. You see what I'm saying? Let me do something because eventually I will be out. So whatever I choose to do now, I'll be better by the time I get out. You see what I'm saying? So that first day you picked those clippers compared to now, it didn't matter if you picked them out here. The whole point is you put that work in. You see what I'm saying? You kept continuously to put that work in, and you made it bigger now. Now you got the license. Now you fuck around, open up your own shop if you want to. You
That's a
see what I'm
fact.
saying? That's how
That's a
you
fact.
elevate. Yeah, I like that, man. Definitely, that's how you elevate. So what advice would you give to a young you before
Ooh.
getting locked up?
Oh my God, that's an even better question. I didn't prepare for this one, but man, I would have told myself, to really look at myself in the mirror and think about why I do things, right? Instead of always being stressed out about all the consequences that came with with my with my past, just like, why did I do any of these things, right? I would try to tell my younger self, find a purpose, find a reason, find a meaning behind walking out that door, right? You know, just don't don't not no don't run around with your chicken like a chicken with your head cut off, right?
Right,
That's
right,
not
right.
the saying. Like,
Yeah.
don't just be out here running around for no reason. Have a reason, have a purpose, do things with intent, stand on what you do, and and if you really think you can deal with consequences, then by all means go do what you got to do,
Mm,
right? And no regrets, just do things a little better next time. That's all.
right.
So do you? So are you, is it? Do you not have any regrets?
We all do, right? We all have regrets, but we all have regrets, and we all have mistakes, and we all have things we done that we shouldn't have done. But at the end of the day, man, if it wasn't for any of the things I did as a youth or as a kid, man, I wouldn't be who I am today, right? I wouldn't have all this Jersey swag, like you said.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm telling you,
That's what it
I'm trying to
amounts
put
to.
my finger on it.
Yeah, you
Y'all got
feel me?
this
It's all,
swag. I'm
man.
just
Hey,
like,
listen, man.
where is that from? No.
If it wasn't for what you go through,
Yeah,
how can you grow? You gotta grow through what you go through.
right.
So
Roll through what you go through.
yeah.
Mm.
Let me write that down. Let me write that
Yeah,
down.
that might be
Grow,
added to the phrases.
grow
yo,
through what you go through.
yo, Tay, my fault. I forgot what was your name again?
Steph.
Steph. Yo, Tay, tell Steph about the pen, man. Tell.
Hey, yo, man,
Okay.
he one of them that I be talking about, like that
Okay.
could take it there.
Okay.
And
I
I
get
don't
it.
see where you at. Where you
Hey
at?
man,
I
yo,
make
the
the
Clippers,
beats.
hey yo, the barbershop, it got my heart, man. I love it. I can't give it up, man. I
Fair
can't I
time.
can't lose focus. I love
Fair.
cutting hair. I love what I do. I love to express my art and my imagination through my haircuts, and yeah, man, that's where my heart is at.
That's a very common combination, bro. Creatives musically and barbers. I don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
but it definitely is, man, because I
Yep.
definitely understand what you're talking about, man. I definitely understand what you're talking about. And I can definitely tell
I
that your
appreciate
pen is ill. It makes sense now. I didn't know. I had no idea that what you said when you said be a rapper, I'm like, okay, he might, but when you said what you said and just how you've been articulating yourself through the whole interview, it makes sense now.
probably get a record deal off this interview.
hey man, hey
Yeah, you
man,
gotta have something to show.
I'm for it, man. I'm
Gotta have
for
something
it.
to show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So man, hey, look, man, I think well, before we wrap it up, I have a more to me this is a serious question. You know, some people I don't know how you're gonna answer it, so whatever. Your family. I don't know how much of a family person you are. Can you share, and it's fine either way, but how did your situation affect family in the sense of how it affected you. So did you, for example, maybe your family members were hurt or not hurt, cared or didn't care? How did that make you feel, and how did it affect you?
Well, family and friends is a tricky topic, but if I'm gonna be brief about it, a lot of times people lend their hand out with the intent of throwing it in your face, right? A lot of people do that, not just family, friends, people relatives, whoever. And my thing was, if you're gonna help me, just please don't ever bring this up again. That I asked you for help, right? Please don't ever write me out what's that called? A balance. When you go to the restaurant, you be like, "Can I get the check?"
The
Like, I don't want
IOUs.
to receipt. I don't want to pay you back. I don't want to owe you nothing. If you're gonna do it for me, do it with pureness. Be real about it. If not, just don't do it.
Mhm.
So shout out to Mom Dukes, who always stayed by my side.
That's
Right.
real.
For me, shout out to the bros. Shout
That's
out to
real.
the family, of course.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
Hey, yo,
real.
so if you had to leave like let's say like 3 words, 3 good words to like anybody that's viewing this, what would you say?
3 good words.
Three
Three
good
good.
words.
Just anything in general.
Anything in general.
Okay. Well, first, above all, God. Second, hard work pays off. So just hard work. Or the word could just be ethic, right?
Mm.
And then last but not least, respect.
Man,
Before you can respect any other man, before you can respect anything, any being, respect yourself, right? Respect yourself, respect whatever you stand on, and ride for it. Die about it.
God, ethic, and respect.
God, ethic, and respect. Hey, Chris, I, I appreciate you, man. And you know what I'm saying? I had never met you before. We may have crossed paths somehow, but I never met you. But the words that you shared today, man, I personally thank you for sharing them. It's not just about everybody else. Once this video goes out to the world, what you shared right now in this moment helped give me some perspective, and I'm definitely a respecter of you and your point of view, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you likewise, man. I appreciate you for having me on your platform. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate you. You guys are doing wonderful work. You guys are definitely making a change, bringing awareness, and I love it, man. And whatever I could do to help.
Appreciate you, man. You on board, man. The choice is yours. Bird's eye
Appreciate you,
view.
man. Shout
Absolutely.
out Prisonish, man, for sure, man.
Word
Follow
up.
me on Instagram, haircuts by Chris. No
Ab-
H in Chris. What happened?
Absolutely. Plug yourself, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. Instagram, man. Haircuts by Chris, man. It's no H in Chris, man. Don't forget it.
The choice is yours.